We had a diverse community. We moved into the Southside Terrace home, the projects, and there were Black families, Hispanics.
Around Corrigan, it was either focused on the school or the churches in the neighborhoods. St. Peter and Paul was maybe 2 blocks away from Corrigan. And so it was either people you went to church with, people you went to school with. So you knew everybody.
Our community was largely people that had grown up in South Omaha, and then they moved. As they became adults and became employed, they moved. They migrated south to that area into Sarpy County. So there were largely blue-collar workers. A lot of the families were immigrants from Eastern Europe because they came during World War II.
Well, it was mainly working class, middle class, nice, not really big homes. I mean, just kind of smaller homes, but all well kept.
Yes, we had excellent lunches. We had great food. Every day was good. Monday we had the hot dogs that were steamed and had the buns were sliced, had a little butter on them. And Friday was fish, and I think Wednesday, but we would have chicken, and it was shake and bake.
They did provide lunch. You could do either. You could go home, since everybody pretty much walked to school. So you could go home for lunch. You could bring your own lunch, bring a sack lunch, or you could buy lunch. I remember because it was like you had food that you didn't get at home. I mean, my mom was a great cook, but we had different things. So bread and butter sandwiches, which is like was a novelty to me. That was kind of fun. Jell-O. We never had Jell-O. Meatloaf, which was tasty, but it had like oatmeal in it and brown gravy. And it's like, this was like so different kind of stuff.
We walked to school. No, we weren't affected by busing. I lived on 28th and R Street, and the school was on 30th, 31st in U Street. So we just walked to school. Junior high, elementary. And then for high school, we caught the city bus. I went to Central High, so we caught the city bus. There was no busing.
For when I went to Corrigan, I carpooled with some of the neighbors because since we were about a mile away, we'd had to get up too early, and I don't think anybody's parents wanted to get up early enough to have us walk. Periodically, we would walk home, but usually it was carpool. And then when I went to Indian Hill, I rode the bus. We had to get up super early to get on that bus. The bus picked us up at 7:15.
I wanted to be a teacher, and I was a teacher for OPS for 25 years, so I guess it didn't change.
So I thought when I was younger, I thought I wanted to be a doctor or maybe a forest ranger. Mrs. Serco, the 5th grade teacher, who was the best teacher ever in the world, she was really into outdoor education stuff. And so I thought I wanted to be a forest ranger because of her.
I don't know that I did know. I love to do art. I didn't know how that would work out as far as an actual job. And like in grade school, you may not, or I didn't think of like a job, or doing something like that. But I always did art. And my parents supported me in that and getting me like oil paints and stuff like that. And I actually did do a lot of painting and drawing when I was in grade school. And we had a great principal, Lorraine Giles, who was really dynamic. And so I gave her one of my paintings because she liked what I was painting. So I gave her one of mine. So I think of anything, I was thinking of being an artist.
There were a lot of kids that either switched from going to public school to one of the parochial schools. Mm-hmm. So they went to maybe St. Peter and Paul or Zion Lutheran or other schools. So they didn't have to go to Indian Hill. And then I had some friends, their families just moved so they didn't have to. And, it was just at the end of the school year, they were there. And then when the school year started, they weren't.
Because the area again was growing so quickly, I think the district had quite a challenge figuring out where to place all these students. So after my second grade at Gilder, all the students were sent to the building on 48th and Giles, right across from Bryan Middle School. Current Bryan Middle School, it was called Giles Elementary. And so I attended there for 3rd and 4th grade. And then I had younger siblings, and when my parents realized that we were going to all be in different buildings, they didn't quite like that. So they transferred us to Corrigan, which is about 38th and Q.